Hey there, my name is Luella, 30, female, and let me spill the tea on my wild mother-in-law and sister-in-law drama. Buckle up, folks, it's a roller coaster. So picture this. I grew up in this teensy-weensy town thinking I'd live out my days in peace on a farm or something. But nope, life had other plans. Dad scored a massive job promotion and bam, we had to pack our bags and head to the Big Apple, New York City. Now, let me tell you, big city kids are downright intimidating. I had zero interest in sticking around any longer than necessary. I begged my parents to let me crash with Grandma back home, but they were having none of it. Thought I was destined to be a total loser, you know. No friends, no guys checking me out, the whole package. Junior year of high school hits, and I'm convinced I'll be a loner for life. But then, enter Heath, straight out of my home economics class. Heath was the silver lining to my big city blues. Cute as a button, and he actually noticed me. Fast forward a few years and we're talking about getting hitched. That's where the real fun begins, meeting the future in-laws. You know, I thought meeting Heath's in-laws would be a breeze given how sweet he was. Oh boy, was I way off the mark. Meeting his folks for the first time was nerve-wracking, like the prelude to a horror movie. Little did I know I was about to step into a full-blown family drama. Maureen, his mom, was a real character, and not in a good way. From the get-go, I could tell she was going to be trouble, mean-spirited from the get-go. She wasted no time in throwing shade my way. I swear, she gave me the once-over and decided to make my life miserable. She started with the classic, "You need to lose weight," spiel. Like, really? And then the kicker. She straight up told me to slap on some makeup because she didn't want her precious son to end up with a frumpy girl. Ouch. "So, what do you plan on doing? You know, with your life?" "Well, Mom, I'm planning on becoming an architect." "An architect? Huh." "Mom, what's with you tonight? Do you know what it takes to become an architect? You think it's a walk in the park? My cousin couldn't become one, and she's the smartest person I know." "Luella is the smartest girl in her class, Ma. She's so good at math, too." "Yeah, right, Heath. What happened to that other girl, Chelsea? She's much prettier." "Mom, please." "It's okay, Heath. Mom, I know that I have a lot to prove to you, but I really like Heath, and we've been wanting to take our relationship to the next level." "Oh, really? What exactly does that mean?" "It means I love Luella, Mom, and I want her in my life for the long haul." "Ha! Marriage. Don't be stupid, Heath. This girl is just an experiment, right?" "What? No, of course not." "Maureen, we love each other, and we want this to work out, and we would like your blessing." "Listen here, sweetie. I'm so sorry that you feel as though you hold any importance here, but my son is not serious about you, and he's definitely not going to marry you." "Wow." "Mom, that was not cool." No, it's all right. Let's just try and eat some food. Thanks once again for the meal, miss." Dinner felt like an eternity, and I could feel Heath squirming in his seat. Feeling the awkwardness radiate, it was painful to say the least. When he finally drove me home, he apologized the entire way. Swore up and down that he talked to his mom and fixed everything. I believed him, you know. But no matter how hard he tried, Maureen wasn't budging. It was like trying to move a mountain with a toothpick. Heath meant well, but his mom was a force to be reckoned with. The drama didn't stop there, but that night was the beginning of my crash course in surviving the Maureen tornado. So, thanks to Maureen's anti-Luella campaign, it looked like some of her opinions were rubbing off on Heath's sister, Lorraine, who conveniently went to our school. I'd see Lorraine in the hallways, wave at her like any normal person, and she'd usually wave back. This was before we met. But then, out of the blue, she started scrunching up her face, rolling her eyes, ignoring me, the whole drama queen routine. It stung, big time. I had no clue what to do. Heath and I started going at it over this family drama. I mean, seriously, how could things work out if his whole family had it out for me? It got so bad that I was thinking of throwing in the towel. I'm talking about ending everything. But Heath, that guy, he loved me. He made sure I heard it loud and clear every day. And we argued, we fought, but he kept reassuring me. He wouldn't stop fighting for us, so I stuck around. Told him I'd face the heat if it meant staying with him. Love makes you do crazy things, right? So when we finally graduated, Heath dropped a big question. Yep, he proposed to me. He said he wanted me to know just how dead serious he was about us being together, and that this engagement would make good on his promises. Aww. When we spilled the engagement beans to my parents, they were over the moon. Sure, they were a bit concerned we were diving into the engagement pool at 18, but once they realized the marriage thing was way down the road, they were all on board. Heath's mom and sister, though, oh boy, no surprises there. It turned into a screaming match. I was just done, done with them thinking they could bully me into silence. Every time we crossed paths, it started with petty jabs, but it always escalated into a full-blown fight. Meeting them that day for the engagement news, I knew it wasn't going to be any different. Brace yourself for the drama, Luella. Hey, sweetie. Oh, I didn't know you were coming over. I'm doing well, Maureen. Thanks for asking. Hope you're good, too. Really, Heath, I was enjoying my weekend. Trust me, I don't want to be here either. Okay, ladies, it's okay. Let's just get this over with, shall we? Get what over with? Luella and I have some great news. Oh, are you two finally breaking up? We're engaged. What? You can't be serious. Luella's parents are over the moon, and we're going to start working for now so that we can afford the wedding in a couple of years' time because we're still so young. But I wanted you guys to know that I'm serious about marrying this girl. She's the love of my life. Oh, spare us the dramatics, please. How could you do this to us? Wasn't it bad enough already that I had to be around her all throughout high school? And now you want me to be seeing more of her? Trust me, this isn't a walk in the park for me either. But I'm willing to put our differences aside, whatever they might be, by the way, because I still don't know why you two hate me so much. All because I love Heath. We don't hate you, dearie. We couldn't be that pressed about you. Then what's your problem with me? Why don't you want to see Heath happy? Oh, that's precisely my point. He isn't happy. How do you know that? What? Are you serious? I know you like the back of my hand. I birthed you, for God's sake. You deserve better than this. This what? This frumpy walking muffin top you call a girlfriend. Okay, we're leaving now. Guess what, Maureen? Your son is in love with this frumpy muffin top, and there's nothing you can do about it except read it and weep. All I can do is pray to the good Lord, son, that one day you'll come to your senses. Talking to you guys is so freaking difficult. I know you're not talking to us that way, Ma. I told you that this girl was bad news. Look at how she's brainwashed Heath. He now thinks he can talk to us like a crazy person. Maybe he's speaking to you like a crazy person because he's fed up with your bigotry. Don't speak for him. You don't know what's good for my son. And you do? Oh, you want to go right now? Let's go. Heath had to play referee, standing between us to break up what was clearly turning into an escalating fight. Being in my shoes was tough. Not a fighter by nature, I'd break down crying every time we had these confrontations, no matter how angry and frustrated I was. I couldn't figure out why Lorraine and Maureen hated me so much. I chalked it up to in-law drama, them feeling threatened because I was coming in and swooping up their precious Heath. But it always felt like there was something more to it, like I had wronged them in a past life and their sole vow was to make sure I suffered in every lifetime after that. It was confusing as heck. Heath and I were in the thick of it again, arguing our hearts out. I couldn't handle it anymore, I said. Heath insisted we just had to get married and that everything would magically turn out okay. Yeah, right. Like we haven't heard that one before. So for the next couple of years, I kept my distance from Maureen and Lorraine, only talking to them when it was absolutely necessary. Fast forward to when I turned 23 and Heath hit 26 and we officially tied the knot. The wedding was lovely and it felt good knowing everything we had on that day was due to our hard work, both financially and emotionally. Those last couple of years were no walk in the park, that's for sure. We had a house and we were now married, and for once things seemed to be going well between us. So Maureen and Lorraine showed up at the wedding and surprise, surprise, they were less than thrilled about the whole thing. I'd already braced myself for that and anticipated some bad behavior from them. But here's the shocker. They were actually kinda supportive. In their world, that just meant not being outright mean and nasty to me. I guess they could at least give me that, considering it was my wedding day after all. They finally decided to take the age-old advice of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I was over the moon, and Heath, well, he said, I told you so, 1,000 times, and I was inclined to believe him and put all this crap behind us. A couple of years into married life, I thought we might have a shot at a somewhat normal and healthy relationship with the in-laws. We could be in the same room without wanting to rip each other's heads off. I felt hopeful, maybe a bit too hopeful because I started getting a bit cocky, I guess. Although things were decent, we still weren't meeting up often. Honestly, I could count on one hand the number of times Maureen, Lorraine, and I were in the same room during those first couple of married years. Feeling all confident, I suggested we meet up more often. And here's the kicker. Just the three of us, no Heath playing referee. So I had this genius idea of booking a spa day for some pampering and bonding. I made a WhatsApp group and spilled the plan. I won't lie, I was nervous, but Heath assured me it was a big move and there was no way his mom, sis, would turn down a spa day, especially one that I was footing the bill for. Are you sure they'll even respond? Babe, trust me, they'll love this. I mean, they both clearly need a spa day. Maybe that'll make them ease up on you. Yeah, they just need to see that I'm over all this fighting crap. It's time we just move on, you know? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm so proud of you, babe. Thanks. Let's just see what they say. So here comes another shocker. They actually responded to my spa day plan. I was half hoping they wouldn't, you know. We'd argued a lot, and I knew it would take time to properly get over everything that had happened. But lo and behold, they responded, and quite enthusiastically, might I add. All my worries just melted away right then and there, because they had accepted my olive branch. That's all I could really ask for, right? Looking back, part of me feels kind of dumb for being so relieved when they responded. I didn't do anything wrong. They were the ones who were supposed to be extending an olive branch to me, considering they were the super hostile party in this equation. All I did was mind my business, and when I had had enough, that's when I stood my ground. But they started it. Each and every single time. Curse these southern hospitality genes. I was always inclined to lend a helping hand, aka be a people pleaser, just for the sake of keeping the peace. But whose peace was I really keeping? Certainly not mine. Anyway, a couple of hours later, Lorraine and Maureen responded telling me they were excited about the spa day. Can you believe it? Positive vibes all around, and maybe this was a sign that things were finally turning around. Or so I hoped. Sounds great. We'd love to come. Thanks for the invite, sis. Can't wait. Once I got the confirmation from them, I texted them the details about the spa day and even went all out with the deets on the fancy spa I booked. We're talking expensive, people. Our package included a mini pedi, massages, facials, and the works. They were over the moon when they found out I was footing the bill, and my excitement level was off the charts. But here's the twist. They got so pumped that they started asking for extra treatments. And not gonna lie, these were things I hadn't necessarily budgeted for. I hesitated, you know. But how could I say no to my mother-in-law and sister-in-law? The struggle was real, my friends. I want the 24-karat gold carrot hair treatment as well. Oh, me too. And I also want this facial instead of this basic one. Oh, okay, let me get back to you on that. And I also want a mud bath. Oh, same. And we should also get those little leech things that suck on your feet. Oh, yes, I've heard so many good things about that. Guys, this isn't really part of my budget. I'm sure you can understand, but perhaps we should split up the costs? Oh, but Luella, we were doing so well. I thought you wanted to extend an olive branch, squash this nonsense between us. Well, yes, of course I do. Great. I just think that the perfect spa day will bring us all closer together. You did say that we needed a spa day and that you'd make it perfect for us. All right, fine. I'll see what I can do for us. That's the spirit, sister. Looking forward to it. After reluctantly extending my budget to accommodate their extra expenses, I convinced myself it would be worth it in the end. Just had to wait and see the fruits of my labor, you know. I successfully booked our spa day set for 3 days from now. When the day finally arrived, Lorraine and Maureen told me they'd meet me there, throwing a wrench in my plan. I had envisioned picking them up, having some icebreakers and chit-chat in the car to ease the awkwardness when we got inside the spa. But plans change, I guess. I waited for them. Got to the spa 30 minutes before our appointment, nervous because they were nowhere in sight. The clock kept ticking, and when the time came, I was calling them non-stop, but no answer. Now, this fancy joint was strict on time. Masseuses and other spa staff were ready and waiting for us, but my in-laws were missing in action and unreachable. Classic. Because they were so late, I had to go ahead with my treatments, and surprise, surprise, they never showed up at all. Couldn't even enjoy myself because the entire time I was thinking about all the money I'd lost trying to make those bozos happy. Of course, this place wasn't taking any last-minute refunds, especially when they had a policy saying that we had up to 24 hours to cancel any treatments. Talk about a spa day gone wrong. I just had to contain myself and wait till I got to Maureen's house to ask her what her problem was. When I got to Maureen's place, she greeted me like she couldn't care less, and that just pushed all my buttons. I lost it, and I started yelling at her. She fired back, and in the middle of our screaming match, in walked Lorraine. From the looks of it, it seemed like they were waiting for me to come home and confront them about it, like a couple of mean girls plotting behind my back. Typical. The yelling escalated, and Maureen dropped a bombshell. She never wanted to come to the spa in the first place. Shocking, right? In the chaos, Lorraine joined in, and both of them telling me I was gullible for ever thinking they'd willingly hang out with me. That was it, folks. The final nail in the coffin. From that moment on, I swore to never take them seriously or trust them again. Of course, I spilled the whole saga to Heath. And he was just as disappointed. But I told him not to do anything because it seemed like the more we confronted the elephant in the room, the bigger it got. Drama, drama, drama. So a couple of years rolled by and things between us hadn't exactly simmered down. But hey, at least I wasn't weighed down by expectations anymore. Out of the blue, Lorraine hit me up one day with an invite to her housewarming party. Now, I was shocked. Why on earth would she want me there? Turns out there were going to be a bunch of benefactors for her charity event, and she wanted a lot of family members to show support. Yeah, right, more like, I don't want to answer questions about Luella's absence. Anyhow, I told myself to hike up my skirt and deal with it. I mean, a housewarming party was just for one day, right? What could possibly go wrong? Famous last words, my friends. Famous last words. Heath and I rolled up to Lorraine's housewarming, more like some fancy ball, if you ask me. Everything looked pristine and beautiful, and I felt like a fish out of water. I just couldn't wait for the day to be over. When we got there, Maureen and Lorraine greeted us. Well, they greeted Heath. I got the classic tight-lipped smile treatment. Lorraine made it a point to remind us to be on our best behavior and not embarrass her, because this was very special to her. Like I was even interested in this thing. I was only there for Heath, to be fair, because he wanted me there. A couple of hours dragged on. I found myself at the bar refilling my drink, and that's when Lorraine approached me, and I braced myself for whatever nonsense she was about to throw my way. Here we go again. Well, well, well. Hi, Lorraine. Nice housewarming. I'm glad you think so. Pulled out all the stops for this joint, and the job never ends. I'm here running around, barely enjoying my own housewarming, just to make sure everything is spick and span. Great stuff. I'm going to head back to... And that includes keeping a tab on people like you. Me? Yeah, you. What did I do? I should be the one keeping tabs on you. Oh my God, are you still pissed? That was so long ago. Really, Lorraine? You two really hurt my feelings. I thought that we were turning over a new leaf, but I guess I was wrong. We will never accept you. Get that through your thick skull. When you told us about that stupid spa trip, we almost died laughing at how stupid and gullible you were. It was so pathetic. Whatever, Lorraine. I'm going back to my seat. Sure, you can go back, but just remember, if you try anything, I'll make your life a living hell. I know you're still bitter. Actually, I couldn't care less. Do whatever you want. You have no hold over me anymore. Okay, whatever. I went back to my seat with Heath, not even bothering to tell him about the little tiff with his sister. I was so tired of complaining, sounding like a broken record. I just wanted the night to be over. To escape the boredom, I took my bag with me to the restroom to freshen up, leaving poor Heath to fend off the party-induced coma. Just as I got inside, down, I got a text, and guess who it was? Maureen, of all people. Imagine that. I opened it up, and the strangest thing appeared on my screen. Her text read, I have successfully placed it in her bag, waiting for the go-ahead. What the hell did she mean? Clearly she meant to text someone else, so I left it at that. As I searched for my perfume, I felt something squishy that definitely didn't feel pleasant. I shone the flashlight from my phone into my bag, and there it was, a slab of what looked like rotting meat. It wasn't too big, but the smell hit me like a ton of bricks. It was awful, and I had to keep myself from retching. At that moment, it all clicked. Maureen had something to do with this. I mean, how could she not? She literally texted me this cryptic message about leaving something in someone's bag, and lo and behold, there I was, someone with something grotesque in her bag. I was furious. I didn't want to blow my top right there, just for the slight chance that I might be wrong about my suspicions, but come on. Even a toddler could see that those two bozos were up to. Every fiber in my being was screaming that they did this, and I just about had enough of their nonsense. I made my way back to my seat, plotting how I could turn this situation around and give those two a taste of their own medicine. Discreetly, I cut the meat with the steak knife on my table and got 2 napkins to hold it. No way was I touching that with my bare hands. I headed towards Lorraine and Maureen's seats, my heart pounding. Luckily, they were sitting right next to each other, and even luckier, they weren't in their seats, probably still running around making sure everything was running smoothly. Thank my lucky stars, I guess. I dumped the meat into both of their bags and went back to my seat. The plan was for them to see the meat, freak out, and cause a big scene. But what happened next? Oh boy, it was 10 times better than I could ever have expected. Lorraine got up on a podium and announced that she had a very important announcement to make, and this was about to get interesting. Thank you all for coming. Today has been so wonderful. Thank you so much to Mr. Maxwell, the best benefactor for my charity, as you all know. World Vision has benefited tremendously from the likes of Mr. Maxwell. It has come to my attention that someone here hasn't had the best of intentions regarding this housewarming party. There were gasps and oohs and ahs all over the place, and I was just as perplexed because I was wondering who it could have been. Suddenly, Lorraine said, "Luella, I know you've hated me and my mother ever since you sunk your dirty claws into my brother." "Don't look at me like that. You know what you did. My mother told me everything." "Yeah, I saw it and I heard her say it too." "What are you two talking about?" "Your precious wife tried to ruin today, but thank God Mom saw what she was up to." "What are you talking about?" "I caught Luella talking about sabotaging this amazing and benevolent event." "Mom, please, not now." "And look, she's even managed to brainwash my son, my only son." "You sound like a crazy person right now." "Mom, please tell the people what you told me." "Well, I was talking with some of our lovely guests when I overheard Luella talking on the phone with someone. She was saying something about some rotting meat and throwing it in the punch and making it bad for everyone." Everyone gasped, even Heath, even me. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that this was my reality right now. I thought that I was getting pranked or something. I turned to Heath for an explanation, but he looked like he was just as confused as I was. Before I could even register what was going on, Maureen made her way towards me and yelled, "See? I'll prove it to you. Let me show you what she was hiding." She grabbed my purse and started shaking everything out of it. It was so violent and ugly, and such an invasion of privacy because all my belongings were tumbled out. But guess what? There was no meat. Wait, what happened? It was right here." That's when I started chuckling to myself, which made Lorraine and Maureen very mad. I made my way to their seats, and I went back up to Maureen's face and said, "Are you talking about this?" I dumped out their purses, and lo and behold, the 2 stinking piles of rotting beef that seemed to dampen everything else in their bags. Yikes. Everyone was so shocked, including those 2 bozos, and that's when I started going off on them. "You two think you can get away with trying to frame me?" "What are you talking about? What the heck is going on?" "Your lovely mother planted this rotting meat in my bag. I found it when I went to the bathroom." But why?" "Well, I have no idea, but she sent me this text." I handed the phone to Heath and he read the text out loud. "I've successfully placed it in her bag." "What?" "Mom, what's this about?" "I'll tell you what it's about. Your mother and your sister were trying to frame me." "Mom, are you serious right now?" "Mom, what happened?" I was sure I left it in her bag." "So you admit it? You tried to sabotage me?" Everyone, please, this is all just one huge misunderstanding. Mr. Maxwell, please let me explain." Don't bother. The people need to know just how selfish and toxic you really are. I don't know why you do something like this. I'm disgusted. No, how could this happen? I'll tell you how. You two have had it out for me the moment I stepped into Heath's life. I knew that you'd try and do something to embarrass me in front of all these people and have an excuse to make me look like a terrible person. But I'm glad you've learned a karmic lesson today. Mr. Maxwell, please don't leave. I can explain everything. Please, just wait. But Mr. Maxwell wasn't having any of it. He looked very angry and embarrassed, and he said that he didn't want to be associated with my sister-in-law because all of this was just so awkward and unnecessary, and I couldn't have agreed more. People were slowly mumbling things about Maureen and Lorraine, and they just looked stupid and scared. I, on the other hand, was quite proud of myself because I had finally caught them in their tracks. The housewarming party ended pretty soon after that, just because of how awkward the situation was. Maureen was trying to talk to Heath, but he was giving her the cold shoulder. Just disappointed in his family, and I couldn't blame him. You ruined everything! No, Lorraine, you did that all by yourself. I just turned the tables, and turns out you don't like the taste of your own medicine. Ugh, I hate you. You should hate yourself even more because you just shot yourself in the foot and lost your biggest investor. And for what? To make me look bad? You just couldn't help yourself, could you? What exactly was your plan, huh? To make me look like a dirty person or someone who can't keep their hygiene in order? Well, you just what, huh? You're a clown, and you're so stupid for ruining what could have been a very good thing. I hope you're happy with yourself because Heath doesn't look like he'll be talking to either of you two any time soon.